All right, so it's time to eat a little bit of humble pie. We're going to eat a little bit of crow here because I attempted to release my very first theory crafting lore video on the channel. I didn't attempt to release. I did, in fact, release it a few days ago, and it has been a great response. I really appreciate everyone jumping into my comment section and using it as a place to do their own theorizing. But there have also been a lot of people jumping into the comments to... it's understandable to be correcting, attempting to correct my guesses as to what will happen in the future with some very passionate comments, we'll say. Not angry at all, just passionate. But I do think that it warrants some corrections to the theories that I threw out there. Mainly just the first one. My second and third theories in that video, I'm still holding on to. I think there's definitely still some potential there. But the first theory that I had, which was that the old piece was a strand of Craw, a alternate timeline, has been deconfirmed by Megan Everett. This was done on an Easy Allies, the Easy Allies podcast and YouTube channel did an interview with Megan Everett that was released on July 21st, 2025, where Megan confirmed definitively that this is not a different timeline, that this is the main timeline, and that part of the lore has always been that while the Zariman jump failed, the Orkin did eventually successfully settle Tau. Now, I didn't hear anything about the Orkin actually making it to Tau. We didn't see any Orkin characters in Tau during the preview. We only saw a transmission from Ballas, and executors tend not to arrive anywhere in person. I read a few comments in my video's comments section that elucidated more clearly how the Orkin tended to live in isolation in order to maintain their illustrious, their pure, their separate status from the rest of the societies that they control. And every other walking around person that wasn't Arteno or a sentient was a Grineer or a Dax. So we haven't seen any actual Orkins set foot on any station or planet in Tau. Not yet. Not yet anyway. This was a misconception on my part, as I haven't really been engaging with supplemental material until after I started this lore channel. And so I was under the impression that because the Zariman jump failed, that the Orkin never successfully settled Tau, and that the Old War was essentially the work of the sentients to prevent the Orkin from ever settling. And because the Old War essentially ended and the Orkin were, it seemed as though the Orkin were stuck in the origin system, that I assumed they never made it there, especially since the explicit goal of the sentients was to prevent the Orkin from being able to ruin or pollute or destroy all of the worlds that were there in the Tau system. So I think that concept that the Orkin have never actually set foot in Tau may in fact still be the case, which would help set up a lot of my theories with regards to the Dax rebellion that is happening, and perhaps why the Dax are able to rebel when they should be under the control of the Orkin in the first place. But yes, just for clarification, my video went up on July 20th and the Easy Allies interview released on July 21st. So, right back to back, I tried to create my video as fast as possible because I was fueled by the hype of the announcement and wanted to write something right then. I basically spent the entire night feverishly jotting down ideas and writing in my notebook, and I was going to fully produce it and make it and try to release it on the 19th, but I got tired and I had to go to sleep. I finished the video and released it that next day. Perhaps a little bit jumping the gun, but that's the YouTube game. I apologize to anyone who felt slighted by their lore YouTuber getting something wrong about the future. Being a little tongue-in-cheek there. I'm gonna get things wrong a lot, and it's kind of not the point to be the authority on this. There are a lot of lore channels out there. I don't want to be the authority on what lore frame lore is supposed to be. We're just having fun here. However, I do want to give props to the person in the comments who actually sent me the link to this interview, rather than just asserting that this was the truth and not providing anything other than their own arguments. I really appreciate that I was given the direct information by someone. Let me bring that name up real quick. Caravan Official in the comments section. If you're listening to this video, hey, thank you a lot. I really appreciate you sending me the link to the interview. It cleared a lot of things up, and it's going to be very helpful going forward. I always appreciate corrections so long as they are done politely and with mutual respect, because, you know, we're talking about a story that we all love. It's more important that we have a fun time with the story than it is being correct about it and solving it. I don't really approach looking at stories as a puzzle, and I really don't think most of the writing team think of the Warframe story as a puzzle to be solved, as lore mysteries aren't meant to be rationalized out so much as they are meant to be experienced, in my opinion. And even though Megan Everett did talk about the puzzling together of the lore, I think that's more about talking about some attitudes towards lore and how to engage with it, more so than what it means or where their heads are at in terms of the writing of stories itself. As we saw from the narrative panel during TennoCon, the vast majority of the guiding light of their narrative team is about telling those smaller, more resonant human stories rather than, trying to be so precious about lofty and haughty ideas. And with the way Warframe's timeline has been expressed over the years, there's so much room in between moments that we know in fact happened for more personal stories to be told and for details to be elaborated that, may conflict with what our assumptions or understandings of previous sections of the lore were going forward. Anyways, just wanted to throw that clarification out there. I was, in fact, wrong about my first theory in that theory video. C'est la vie, c'est la guerre. It's not a big deal. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you for checking out this little correction video, and I'll see you next time. See you soon, maybe. Stay true.